The third and final technique we're going to talk about is what I'm going to call the fringe that you can add to your loom. I think this is a really fun one. It does take some prep. We're going to start with one of your bundles, and now using my gray bundle, so you can tell each color as a different technique. And I have scissors. You're going to need your scissors for this one too. What I'm going to have you do is, like when you were making the bundles, we're going to take the string and go around your hand, and I'm going to count that as 1. I'd like you to go around 8 times just for this practice, and then you'll understand what we're working on, and you can make as many pieces as you'd like. I just don't want to waste your yarn that you've gathered. So this is 1. Remember, I held it with my thumb, went behind my hand and back up front, and not pulling too tight like I'm going to smush or turn my fingers purple. Nice and loose. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we're not making a bundle, so I'm going to show you what I want you to do next. As I loosely take it off, here's the end that I have. We're going to cut all the way across. Doesn't have to be exactly the same place, but as close as you can get it. Now, let's double check. I should have 7 or 8 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I have 8 strings that are all right about the same length. Now you can put away your scissors, put them to the side, get your loom. I ended mine with some solid blue just to give it a break so you can really see the difference between this fringe. Now these are really fun, and you're going to take about 2 strings. You could add another string in if you need it, but here's what we do. You lift up 2 strings that are next to each other and you go underneath. Okay, pull it about even. Now we're going to go pull these apart, and I can see this little piece here. We're going to go through here with the ends. So I'm pulling them through that little loop that I've made. And when I pull it tight, it makes these little strings, a little fringe. Now I'm holding it up closer so you can see a little bit better, and I'll try and take it a little bit slower and show you how to make this little fringe guy. I take 2 strings that are next to each other. I'm just moving over one to the next 2. Go underneath with your little piece of string you've just cut. I'd try and make them even. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh. I'm trying to make those ends even. Now, I'm going to pull these 2 apart now. Pull them just a little bit further apart. Here are my ends. You can still see them. And this, I pull up a little so it makes that loop. I'm going to take these ends and put them through the loop and pull tight. So here it is. I'm flipping the little ends through the loop. And now if I take those ends and I pull tight, I've got a little fringe. Now that I've finished, or almost finished, my first row, I wanted to check back in with you guys. I have 3 on the end, which should be the case for all of you guys as well. It's okay to put all 3 on this last string. You just have to decide where I'm going to make the gap to go back through. For me, I'm going to do it right close to the end. So here it is, and I'm going to go through. But you could do the other one just as well. It just means this other string is captured. We don't want it to look like it's plain or empty or forgotten. I want to cover it up again and hide the warp. Now when I go back, I'm going to go on these 2 strings, or no, I'm going to do these 2 and go back, and then I'll be covering every other one and almost pulling these together. So let me do one over here and show you really quickly. So I'm going to leave this, I'm going to do 3 this time, and match up my ends. And I'm going to go through the loop right through here, right between the 2. That way, it'll put my next piece of fringe in between and fill in that gap. So I'll go again and check back in with you. Now I finished a second row, and I'm going to show you what happens if I just flip it down. It should kind of want to stick up. and look all crazy and hairy. Now say you finish this row and you want to kind of cover the red a bit more, you can do a plain back and forth, a plain weave, a basic weave. You can make tons of fringe and have it try and like stick right up, look right at the person, and just be hairy and fringy. You can go back through and trim it. If you trim it really short, it's going to come undone. It's just going to fall apart. So you do need to leave a bit on there, but as you can see, some of my pieces are shorter or longer, so I definitely could benefit from giving him a little trim. But that's your idea how to make your fringe on your piece. It's going to look like these long, crazy hairs.